I grew from 0 to 60,000 designer followers on Instagram without dancing, and honestly, it became such a huge part of my life. In this video, I'm gonna tell you on what platform you should be posting and why, what kind of content is working right now for creatives, how I create the viral carousels step by step, and the leverage the content can give you. Let's start with the leverage because I think the creative don't know the power of creating content. Before I started posting, I was just like this invisible designer. I would share my work on a Dribble or Behance, but we know those platforms are pretty dead right now. And when I tried to go freelance, it was a hard time finding clients without marketing myself. Whereas now I get DMs for a project almost every day on my Instagram. I work with brands I never even dreamed of. And even in my 9 to 5, my company loves what I'm doing. They love to see me staying up to date with the design trends, sharing the tools I've discovered. They just love to see me being passionate about design outside work. It gave me loads of visibility because I show up in front of the right people, building trust because they learn something from me or they relate to me. And the opportunities, brands, clients, partnership, collaborations. If I just to quit my 9 to 5 right now, I wouldn't have such a hard time going on freelance. That all sound good, but maybe you tried already creating content on social media and it just didn't work. The content creation game leveled up massively over the past few years. So let's go and analyze together the best performing formats that are working right now. Let's start on with the green screen video. So there is this girl that shares if I were to design X brand, this is how I would do it. What she does is she records herself with her phone, just like I would record myself right now. And then she's cutting her background in probably CapCut, which is the video editing program. And then she's putting the images and explaining why she would design this brand this way. So what it gives her? It's showing her creativity, it's showing her process thinking and her skills as a designer. So instead of sharing just final design, this is a nice way to show the whole process one by one, why you would design this way. And this type of content is really not difficult to make because you don't have to prepare whole your studio, record from different angles and then edit everything. You just literally recording yourself like this and it comes to the power of editing on your actual project. The next type of content that is performing massively right now is the storytelling. If you look into cut videos, she's a perfect scenario how you can combine showing your design skin with storytelling. She shares her frustration, her processes, her mini vlogs, all in like semi-cinematic way, which I absolutely love. So not only clients will come to her because they love her design, but other designers as well because they can relate to her content. Another type of content that is performing really well is of course series. And I like really the series from Design Barbariana, designing for things that inspire me in real life. Such a cool project she's making and those videos are really engaging and making you wanna follow her. If you wanna try something completely different like sharing tutorials, let's look at the Xander. He's sharing a fast-paced Figma tutorials, but they're kind of fun. Another thing we can tell about Xander is that he opened his own education platform called Memorizely, which is like super huge right now. So this is exactly the leverage that content can give you. And if you don't wanna even show your face on the camera, then the best kind of video you can make is the reference video, when you can share your tools or website or your processes that you find without even showing your face, like putting headphones or opening laptop or walking to your desk, combined with good choice of typography, the whole aesthetic of the video and the music, it really can work well. So we know the short form content performing really well, but which platform should we actually choose as a designers? So my go-to is always Instagram. I think this is where the most designers hang out and spend the most of the time scrolling. You can post like reels, carousels, photojournal posts, we're gonna talk about that in a second, and of course stories. So if you're a designer, this is your main playground. The next playground I really like is the threads or the X past Twitter. The content that is performing really well in there is like screenshots of the stuff you're working on or design lessons in one sentence, personal updates. It's fast, it's fun, and it's very human. And of course, YouTube. You can post your design tutorials, you can post your storytelling videos, behind the scene of being designer, content creator, freelancer. It's a bit slower to grow, but the people who follow you there, they're gonna stick around for longer. And this is when your content always become evergreen. Once posted, it can get views forever. I still got some of my old videos that the people watching right now. And of course, you can repurpose everything. So if you're doing short form videos, you can repurpose them on TikTok. If you're doing carousel content, you can repost it on like LinkedIn if it's professional carousel. I think right now is a really huge comeback for them, especially on TikTok and Instagram. Both of those platforms pushing again carousel content. But it's not just the typical carousel that we used to see before. On both those platforms, the photojournals are the gold content right now. They're raw, they're emotional, they're beautiful design without looking design, and the engagement is insane. Today I'm partnering with Kittl, which is honestly my favorite tool for designing carousels like this. Whether you are total beginner or advanced designer, Kittl is a great graphic design tool. So let's make those carousels together. So for carousel, we wanna go 180 for 1350. That's the new Instagram. And I'm gonna use the Kittl images, but you can use your own images. So let's start with this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate that layer. So now we have two the same. And on the first layer, we're gonna remove the background. Perfect. Now we're gonna choose the text. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna place the text behind the tiger. So let's add some text. Let's say tiger. We're gonna change the color to white and choose some nice typography that will match. I'm thinking some kind of bold, sans serif probably. The Eco Motors looks quite good. And now we're gonna take our tiger and bring it to the top. That's great. We can try to hide it a bit less. To make it even more engaging, let's add some arrows. So let's search for arrow, and I think that one will be great. Let's just rotate it. Gonna change color to white again, add another text. And this time we wanna go for more handwriting font. So let's go to script. It's matching the style of arrow. Let's add a bit of more graphic elements to make it even more engaging. So something like this will work really well. And that's our first photo journal style Instagram post. So let's create another one. So we're gonna add another artboard. This time let's use this image with laptop, which is more what we would share as a designers of our photo journal. Similar, we're gonna duplicate that layer. So I'm gonna copy and paste. We're gonna remove the background. And we're gonna add a little shadow or like overline. So I'm gonna use the shadow option. Gonna choose the color white, remove completely blur, and try different offset and angle, something like so. Again, we're gonna add text and graphic elements. And this is how we can turn just our photo that we taken during the day and make it into interesting photo journal. Ideally, you wanna mix this with sharing some tips about design or about being creative to get even more engagement, but this kind of content performing super well on Instagram, Threads, and X. Another type of carousel that you can show your creative skills as well as storytelling is the collages. So let's create one together. Again, we're gonna create the artboard 180 1350. Let's check if the Kittl got some assets for envelope. Okay, this one is perfect. And let's say this is like a gift guide for creatives. So we're gonna go and select our text elements, call it gift guide. And kind of like this font is North Road. Make it slightly bigger. And now we're gonna add all our products that we think would be great for designers. So for example, there is something like creative department hat. Let's say this is really cool gift. So I'm gonna copy that image and I'm gonna place it on our artboard, and we're gonna remove background. I'm gonna do that with a couple of products that I think would be a very great gifts for designers. And of course, we're gonna remove background. Okay, let's say this is our base of the first slide. The next, we're gonna do next slide saying where these items are from and what they are. We can spice it up by adding some textures. So in Kittl, we go to the texture tab, and I'm thinking a paper texture maybe. I think that one is cool. Slightly gonna change background color. Maybe yellowish. And the next slide we would do. The next slide I would do if I had to create collage like this. Let's try if we're gonna keep that one. So think of like editorial magazine mixed with hand-created collage when you were a child. You would cut like stuff from newspapers and put it together, tape it, add in some handwritten text, arrows, everything. This kind of content is great because it provides loads of engagement and it's often shared because there are some great elements inside. One thing worth to mention is that on TikTok, those type of carousels won't do as well as on Instagram. I'm gonna show you my example comparing two carousels. So let's say this is the carousel which we designed in the first style, which is text behind the person, quite simple carousel. there is almost no design, it's just text placed on top of the image. So the exact same carousel on TikTok didn't really do much views, did 4,000, but compared to Instagram, that's really nothing. So here we have almost 100,000 views compared to TikTok 4,000. And I'm gonna show you now what type of carousels is performing on TikTok. So the type of carousels that is performing essentially is again the text on top of the picture, but I've added this text inside the TikTok app because you can edit in TikTok as well. So what you can do is you can prepare your designs but leave the blank space for when you actually want to put the text and add the text directly in TikTok. This way there is more chances your carousel will perform better because the text from TikTok is boosting algorithm. I tried the same way in Instagram when I added text in Instagram directly and still did okay, but I don't think it matters that much in Instagram where you add in the text, as long as your content is just more aesthetic and provides value. But on TikTok, carousel text always should come from TikTok. So as always, happy designing. If you have any questions related design or content creation, drop them down in the comments. If you create this kind of carousels, tag me. I'm gonna go and check them out. See you.